Before we start, can we have a standing ovation for Deepa Malik?
Thank
What
you.
we saw on this stage is incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Very kind of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, it was only last month, I was playing a cricket match for Times of India group and we were in the finals of Mumbai Cricket Association's Corporate Championship. I scored a 0 in that match and we lost the final, and it was my third consecutive ducks. As I walked towards the pavilion, I thought I have turned 30, it's time for me to give up. Here I sit with Deepa Malik, she started her career at the age of 30. Incredible. You know, what more? I know you have answered this question 1,000 times already, but I'll ask you again for this audience. What is it that motivated you at the age of 30 to start what you were starting? The journey that you were going to be on?
Like I said, I was tired of that, the whole pressure of the taboos which were created. Everybody was only accusing me of being a physically challenged woman in a difficult body with a difficult illness, because I need continuous rehabilitation, I need continuous physiotherapy, I need assistance to pass stool, I need assistance to pass urine, I need to manage my bladder and bowel. I'm somebody who needs support to shift from the bed to wheelchair, wheelchair to bed. So I was taken as a lifelong liability, and not just a physical liability, but also a emotional or probably even a financial liability. And I did not want to live in the guilt of something which I had not opted for. I mean, give me a chance and I would like to be a Miss Universe. Not that I still don't feel that I'm the hottest woman going around on a wheelchair. So why should I feel guilty for what I have not, asked for? I expected people to applaud me for my bravery, for my adaptability, for the way I was still coping up with life with a smile. Because every 2 to 3 years I have to undergo chemotherapies to stop the tumors. I cannot get operated anymore. And then, one fine day I just woke up. I used to be sad. I used to feel low, but then I decided, I said, no, this is not what I'm going to live with. I need to create a new identity. And rather than focusing on what I have lost and what I do not have, I started focusing on what can I do. Being a housewife, I knew how to cook. So why can't I just cook meals? And I was just in a very small town of Ahmednagar. I had never even heard of home deliveries or these Swiggies or these Zomatos. It was just a thought that I'm going to supervise, I'm going to pack some tiffins. I will earn. I just wanted to earn. And my husband also left army because he felt that I will not be able to travel in this body. He also got bitten by the stereotype. So I think the whole motivation was not only to change the perception of people towards me, but also to make a new identity for myself. So first I turned a restaurateur, then I was blamed to be on the wrong set of wheels. I said, okay, if you remember me as a biker or as a car rallyist, I'm going to be that. Though it was a very difficult journey because nobody believed that a woman in chest below paralysis wants to drive, and that was not a common thing to do in India. 19 months of battle to get the licenses. But then slowly I found my purpose, Anirban. I realized that I think I am the chosen one, and whatever I can do from this body, whether it was to earn by running a restaurant or to give out a shock treatment into the society by doing high altitude driving, rallies, competitive rallies, or even start playing sports.
Correct.
So,
how did shot put come to you? What was the process?
Shot put was again not by choice. I don't things just don't happen by choice. They're just thrown at me. I was actually preparing for javelin. I started off as a swimmer. My body could not take to cold water in the cold months. There wasn't enough facilities for, back then there wasn't facilities of heated swimming pools. So medically I got stagnated as a swimmer. After making the world record by swimming across River Yamuna, I either would have given up or learnt a new skill. So I started learning javelin, and I had already made a mark. I had won the Asian Games medal. I had become world number 2 in my category. But unfortunately, just before the Rio Paralympics, the event changed to shot put in my disability category. Now, either I would have not played, and if I had played, I had to learn the shot put. But this journey of shot put, well, if you really ask me that what was going through my mind when I was winning that medal.
Yeah, because, exactly at the age of 45, it was not even a natural game to you. Then you participated in won a silver medal at the Rio Games. I won't call it Rio Paralympics, I'll call it Rio Games,
yes,
because it's a game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Tell us, talk us through the journey of winning that medal. Did you have a sense that, yeah, I'm going to be a podium finish?
Yes, I worked very hard. I did have a lot of struggle believing that at 45, 46, I can learn a new skill, I can grow muscles, and I can actually be at the world podium winning a medal at Paralympics. So there was a lot of mental training that I underwent, and I really thank my mental trainer, Preeti Gupta, who worked with me, who made me believe that yes, I can do it, and the entire team. But the saddest part was that the final selection trial, we just had one quota seat that came for women, because it is, you get the quota allocation on a proportion ratio system. So many girls qualify, and as compared to those, you get one seat. 1:3 is the rule. When 3 women qualify the A-level mark, only one quota seat comes for us. So the funnel is really, really narrow. People think people in Paralympics or Parasports don't have competition, but it's the other way around. For us, getting there is even more difficult because your first competition is within the country. And so we were 2 girls who had qualified in A-level mark, and there was 1 girl who qualified in B-level mark. Hence, we got only 1 woman quota slot in athletics to play. And in the final trials, I took a shot of 4.48, which on that day was equivalent to world ranking 1.
Wow.
And I got the selected seat. But instead of seeing my name in a positive way in the newspaper the next day, that, oh, Deepa Malik at 46 makes it to the final quota allocation for the Rio Paralympics, it was the other way around. The newspapers read that the bigger fish has eaten the small fish. Deepa has cheated her way into the selection, and she has been dragged to High Court. With just 15 days to go for the final name to go, I was actually battling not only at the practice field, but also in the High Court, because somebody said that I cheated and I didn't deserve this seat. Well, I really want you to see the next video. For 4.48, ladies and gentlemen, I was dragged to the High Court. I want you to focus on the next video and really see the result. So what was going on in my mind, Anirban, was actually not the medal. It was a fight for my honesty and my integrity.
Correct.
So can I have the video of my Rio performance, please?
Final, this a seated throwing event. And this is Deepa Malik of India. All the throws happening together. Malik, who's won silver in the shot in the 2011 World Championships. She's from New Delhi. It was a decent one out towards 5 meters here. And that's 461.
Well, here's history. India's first ever female Paralympic medalist in any sport. Deepa Malik picks up the silver. From New Delhi, silver medalist in the javelin at the 2014 Asian Games. First major championship was actually in Delhi for the Commonwealth Games in 2010. They have a strong parasports program embedded within. But Deepa Malik receives India's historic silver.
that smile tells the story. I mean, all that we wanted
So it
to
was
see.
4.61.
Correct. Incredible. When are you winning the next medal for us?
Oh, okay. No, I think I always say this, Anirban, that when I went to Rio, I won 1 medal for the country. But when I went for Tokyo 2020, I won 19 medals for the country, because currently I am holding the position of the President of Paralympic Committee of India. And when you say medals, I assure you at the forthcoming Asian Para Games, there'll be 100 medals, at least from the para athletes. So I'm not winning medals basically because unfortunately in 2022 Asian Para Games and even in 2024 Paris, my favorite events have not come in my disability category. So that is again a hindsight of para sports. You don't get to play your event because they keep rotating for maximum participation. It also depends on the region, and because in Olympics you have only 100-meter race, but in Paralympics you have 48 different 100-meter races, because there's so many different disability categories that have to be accommodated, visually impaired and intellectually challenged. You have the height challenged, short-statured. So there are a lot of, but I'm really happy that we could bring home. Oh, there's another slide there. Yeah,
lovely picture.
Oh, that's so you must be wondering. So that's Devika, my elder daughter. I was just talking about her, where people said, "What will happen to the mother-daughter duo?" So I'm so proud. That's my elder daughter. They said, "Maa beti ka kya hoga?" Mera to jo hua, but even Devika is done so well, and she is working very hard in the field of disability, and that's her achievements in her own right. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to ask you this because, we have seen you in many avatars. Athlete, of course, then brand ambassador. We have seen you as mentoring the athletes to Tokyo. What's your brand of leadership? And I mean leadership at work, at home,
Okay.
when you are interacting with your child.
I think my brand of leadership I would say that lead by example, because your team will never be who you want them to be. They will be who you are. So it's very important to lead with an example. And I think that has become my motivation also. When I was to bring up a child in disability, being a mother in disability, I could not afford to be a negative, sad kind of a person. I had to be a mother to 2 lovely daughters who should have grown up in the right way to become citizens of the country, citizens of this new India, and give back to the society. And I'm glad that they have turned out to be like that.
Yeah, since you talk about your personality and you didn't want to come across someone who is sad,
Yes.
I must share this one experience I had with you while interacting in the preparation for this session. So all of us, the team that has put together this session, we are very particular about is the ramp at place? Do we really have the entire facility? So we have been calling Ankur, who heads our operations, multiple times. So in one of the conversations, I mentioned to Dr. Malik that we have the ramp and you be assured that we have taken care of it. She responded to me saying, "Oh shit, I have lost the chance of 4 hot men carrying me up to the stage." And that defined the non-sad part for sure. I want to go on in this conversation. It's once in a lifetime opportunity for me to share the dais with you. But I would also take a few questions from the audience. I'm sure they're waiting for it. One last question from me to you.
Yes.
India had a successful, I must say, historical run at Tokyo Paralympics. What was your communication to the athletes? Throughout we were interacting with them. We have seen multiple visuals of you with the athletes. What were you telling them? They know their game, but it was about motivating them at the right time, right? So what was the entire process?
I think the success of anything depends on the right communication. And I think we really, in a communication summit, and I must say that the main essence of the win at the Tokyo Paralympics was an amazing communication between the entire ecosystem and with the athletes, We had, a great policies backing up, fundings backing up. We had Sports Authority of India. We had Ministry of Sports. The communication that Honorable Prime Minister made with the athletes, the webinars that we conducted utilizing the pandemic time where they could not be out, but yet we kept them updated on the prohibited substances, the right kind of nutrition, the mental health, injury management, exercises that can be done at home, the skill development in their particular sport. The communication added science to the sport. The communication bridged the gap. Everybody was asking each other as to what the athletes need, what is there. So I think this really became a great point for success of athletes and para-athletes at Tokyo, whether it is our Olympics or the Paralympics. We see how the jubilation went on in the entire Indian team when Honorable Prime, it was so amazing. The power of communication is so amazing. The moment the medal was won, here everybody would look at the phone. Now Honorable Prime Minister is calling. So even just a few words, and that would just be a minute's call, but that communication will leave everybody so charged, so motivated. I think that is why we say it's very, very important, because communication is nothing but sharing of experience, telling each other's story, not leaving anybody alone, inspiring each other. And to share is to care. And I think that is what communication is all about. And that's exactly what we did with our athletes.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that great answer. I hope the 100-medal promise that you have made today gets true, and we have many more such calls. Thank you. Thank you for answering all my questions. Now I'll open the floor. Any questions for Dr. Malik, please throw at us. Yeah, I see hands going up. Can we please have the microphone?
Continuing with your talk about communication, so I'm sure there's a lot of time you must have faced problems of your intrapersonal communication, which often must have posed barriers to your journey of this fight against the stereotypes that you were facing, which you were talking about earlier. So how did the stereotypes change, and how did that intrapersonal communication change as well?
I think in my case, it was never lack of communication. I was always right there in the faces of people, communicating what I wanted, what I felt, and what is the right way. Even now, whenever I'm in a new set of people, I walk into a new, I make it a point to tell them what are my needs, what is required, rather than just imagining them to know about it. So that has been one of my strongest points, and that is something I really encourage. And as far as you're saying that the kind of things that I heard and people heard and how I changed their mindsets, I think actions speak louder than words. So sometimes a way of communicating is also through your actions. And if they said she will never be able to cook, I opened a restaurant and I started feeding 400 people every day. If they said she will not be able to earn, well, I'm so proud that today I am also a A-grade officer with the government. I am a motivational speaker. I am an proud independent director with OYO. And today I earn more than my husband. Definitely way more than him. And they said she won't be able to, survive on the wheels of a wheelchair. Well, I took to the wheels of the bike, I took to the wheels of a car. And so every time there was negativity communicated my way, I churned it into my positive outcome. And through actions or through my communication, I made sure that I converted the mindsets in a positive set of mindsets. And I think today when I leave from here, the way I am dressed, the way my hair are done, the way my makeup is done, thank you Ganesh for all the styling. You will never imagine a woman on a wheelchair looking very sad and not up to date. This is the latest in fashion, I swear.
I have time for one more question. That's the one last question we're going to have. Any other question? Yeah, there's somebody.
Hello, ma'am. You just spoke about how you've taken negativity and turned it into positivity, right? And you also spoke about how you had someone, Preeti Gupta, if I'm not getting the name wrong, but who helped you overcome those mental barriers, right? In today's era where therapies are spoken about but still looked down upon, if we can hear someone like you speak about the importance of it and how it's really helped you in your journey, I'm sure it'll really throw some light there as well.
Definitely. I think you'll be surprised when I was not stepping out as a 5-year-old. And my parents especially my father, when he saw the change in my behavior, the first thing he did was to take me to a child psychologist to know whether, am I being told, because I was a very outdoor kid. I would play longer than my brother, and I would fight more than my brother, and I would ride the cycle more than my brother did. So everybody would turn around and say, oh, she is like another boy, ye to ladki kyun paida ho gayi, ye to ladka hona chahiye tha, and all that. And then suddenly I stopped playing, and that's when my father took my mother aside and asked, are you sure you're not asking her to behave a certain way? Because people are often saying that. Then he quietly took me to a child psychologist to understand whether there's any pressure being put on me at home to sit inside the room and paint and play with dolls. So even as early as that, in 1975, my father took me to a psychologist who's a mental trainer in their own right. And even as a sportswoman, sports psychology is a very, very strong arm of handling the competition. And that is something of late, thanks to vision of Honorable Prime Minister and the new policies of Target Olympic Podium scheme, all these facilities of sports sciences are now provided for. And if I was not a part of the Target Olympic Podium scheme to be able to afford the mental training, I probably would have never believed in myself to be able to go and win and also handle the pressure of being in the court. I'm 3-generation army. And when my integrity is questioned, I think that was the lowest time of my life, even lower than getting paralyzed for a lifetime. So to handle that pressure, it is very important. But see, the counselors are there, and it may not be a formal counselor. It could also be a mother, a friend, a confidant, a colleague in the workplace. The thing is that you are also supposed to be willing to reach out. It's all right to ask for help. I'm somebody who lives on help 24/7. So it is very important to ask for help whenever you need the help. Keep your egos down, communicate, ask for help. And another important thing, if somebody is reaching out, asking for help, then be willing to give a helping hand. That is also very important.
Wow, that's a great note to end this session, what we are calling powering positivity to overpower challenges. We all face challenges in our lives, but it is for people like Dr. Malik, people like us, never give up. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
I would like to thank Devika here. Thanks for doing this for us.
Yeah, Devika is here, right here.
Yeah, thank you.
She's qualified for the forthcoming Asian Games, so yeah.
I would request you to wait for a minute more on the stage, and I'll leave it to you, Shobha. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anirban, for moderating this session, and thank you so much, Dr. Malik, for sharing your absolutely incredible and inspiring story with all of us.